Mario, the hero of the Mushroom Kingdom, and Link, the knight of the Hyrule Kingdom. Despite looking different in appearance, they're actually the same guy. Hear me out. For those who do not know, in 1949, Joseph Campbell published a book called A Hero of a Thousand Faces, in which he applied Carl Jung-style psychology to theorize that heroes of ancient myth all follow common story archetypes, and that we recognize these and always be able to relate to them to some degree. And since video games are also an art form, today we'll be taking a walk through how these common story beats come through these two protagonists. Joseph Campbell proposed that every hero goes through cycles that repeat themselves throughout time. Let's take a walk through each of these and see how they can relate to both Link and Mario. 1. The ordinary world. This is the normal, everyday world for the hero. In the Legend of Zelda franchise, the ordinary world is much more established versus in the first 3D Mario game, he literally just popped out of a hole in the ground. 2. A call to adventure. The equilibrium is disrupted. Some outside force changes things. And most of the time, when it comes to Mario stories, it's not very complicated. Most of the time, Princess Peach gets captured by the dragon, or him later, and then it's up to Mario to go save her. In the Legend of Zelda franchise, however, most of the time, Link doesn't immediately meet the princess. In some cases, yes, she gets kidnapped and whisked off to somewhere else, but sometimes it's the Great Deku Tree, telling Link of his destiny, or the Great Hammerrock King kidnapping Ariel. Ariel? Yeah. Forcing him to go on this journey across the seas to go save her. 3. Refusal. The hero hesitates. He has a moment of doubt. And you, as the gamer, have the choice of whether or not to embark on the journey with the hero by simply turning off the game and not picking it up ever again. For Link, in Ocarina of Time, this forces himself, after clearing the first dungeon in the Great Deku Tree, Link has to tear himself away from his only friend, the Wind Waker, leaving his dear grandmother alone on Outset Island to go save his sister. Mario is a lower age demographic, so the Mario franchise generally doesn't pull on the heartstrings as much. 4. The help. The hero, by extension, the player, needs help on this journey because every game in these two franchises varies in some degree. This sage knows the mechanics of the game is there to teach the hero, and by extension the player, how to play the game. The King Red Lions, and Fi. In the Mario franchise, the most obvious example of this is Cappy in Super Mario Odyssey. And I guess Flood, to an extent, in Super Mario Sunshine. Kinda, sort of. 5. Crossing the threshold. This is a chance to turn back. This usually comes after the first dungeon, as I mentioned earlier, or on the level in the game where the hero, aka the player, must decide if he or she wants to continue his journey with the hero. 6. Trials. This is a series of challenges taking the hero further and further away from his ordinary world that make him a little bit stronger every single time he is victorious. 7. The greatest fear, also known as the greatest challenge, facing against the dragon. In the Mario franchise, Bowser, aka King Koopa, is the final test of Mario, and in many regards, he is literally a dragon, only with a shell, and given more of a yokai appearance, if anything else. And of course, for Legend of Zelda, this is oftentimes Ganon in his somewhat pig-like demon form, or Ganondorf, but he's also been a little dragon, in terms of Tears of the Kingdom. 8. The treasure obtained, aka the reward. Well, you as the player get the satisfaction of beating the game, but for the hero themselves, the treasure of Link and Mario is Princess Zelda and Princess Peach respectively. More of them later. 9. The road back. From here, usually the story is over. In most cases, roll credits. The most famous example of this in the Legend of Zelda franchise is Zelda sending the hero time back to his own time to live out his childhood. What's the worst that can happen? 10. Atonement. This is primarily for the player to reflect on what he or she just learned about him or herself usually through the credits. 11. Return. Now, this is where most video games are pretty much over at this point. The only time you actually see the return of the hero is through the hero shade in The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, versus most Mario games, all Mario games are pretty much isolated by themselves, and we just repeat the story over and over and over again. Well, that's a formula. But then you must ask yourself, why? Why do we essentially keep playing the same game over and over and over again, and Nintendo is making bank the entire time? Well, according to Joseph Campbell, it's because this journey is eternally true. First, let us distinguish between Link and Mario as the types of heroes they represent. The hero of destiny. In the majority of his appearances, Link is either a knight or a descendant of one. But what is a knight exactly? A socio-economic class, a professional warrior. Whether he be the feudal knight or a shogunate samurai, they represent symbols of honor, strength, and hope, the virtues of a society. Also, within the world of gaming, another one who follows this archetype of the hero of destiny is the Master Chief from the Halo franchise. His purpose, proven battle prowess, and he lets the troops, no, all of humanity know that as long as the Master Chief lives, as long as he fights, there will always be hope. If you want me to analyze the Halo franchise, please let me know in the comments. All is to say, the hero of destiny represents what we aspire to be: honorable, loyal, capable, and inspiring to others. Contrast that with the hero of chance. Contrasting with the extraordinary hero, Mario represents the majority of us, an everyday guy or gal. Mario does not descend from a remarkable lineage. He's a blue-collar worker, a plumber in blue overalls. Before we move on, however, I must tip my hat towards real-life plumbers who are our heroes in our regard. Think about this for a second. Think about our reliance on running water that we take for granted every day. If there was a profession dedicated to ensure just that, we as society would crumble within months. Well, back to the story. The archetype of the hero by chance goes back to fairy tales such as Jack in English folklore. Think of the story of Jack and the Beanstalk, where the lower class is given a gift, and this gifts allow him to defy expectations, even win the heart of royalty. This is Disney's Aladdin, a rascal living on the streets, the diamond in the rough, whose destiny changes forever when he encounters the supernatural being in Genie, played by Robin Williams and Bluesmith. The hero of chance represents that one extraordinary chance we want in life, that one opportunity we want to discover, or are gifted that will change our lives forever. We also hope that we are still the same person after we complete this hero's journey, and not become the very monster we sought to destroy. The hero's prize. I mentioned in the first segment of this video, the reward for Mario and Link are the princesses. But why princesses? Why never queen? There are two answers to this. As boys grow up, we find glory in proving our prowess to other boys, even better, older boys, and admirable adults. However, as we get older, the majority of us start seeking the approval of the opposite sex. In other words, while the trials make us stronger, winning the girl's hand becomes the ultimate prize. We want to prove our strength by using it to protect the beautiful and the vulnerable. The princesses, therefore, represent the ones to be rescued, honored, and protected from evil. The princesses carry with them the beautiful future by their rescue can continue the kingdom and culture. That's why they can never be permanently married to our heroes in question. With the exception of a couple Super Mario games, we rescue the girl, but we do not see her wed to our heroes. Why? Think back to fairy tales. How do they end? And they lived happily ever after. The end. Both Legend of Zelda and Super Mario Bros. Have been around for at least 4 decades, and going strong at that. They just make too much money, and guess what? As long as this hero's journey is the backbone for both these franchises, they'll be around for many, many more decades to come. Notice the diagram from earlier. It's a wheel. The hero goes back to these same cycles over and over and over and over again, and you can tell this same story over and over and over again. And that's a beautiful thing. That's why we keep coming back to these games. That's why we stay with these franchises. Because we aspire to be the hero of destiny. And because we are the hero of chance, all looking to obtain our prize. Hey y'all, thank y'all for watching my video. If you enjoyed, please RCS, rate, comment, and subscribe. Stay beautiful, and I'll see you all next time.